What's up, Endurifiers? This is Mario, and I'm back with another episode of Endurify. And today I just want to tell you a quick story about this quote that I just heard that just literally gave me chills and got me so pumped up. So I want to share it with you. And it's the title of this podcast. And just for a little bit of context, this was a quote by Edmund Hillary, who along with a gentleman named Tenzing Norgay, in 1953, they became the first two climbers to have reached the summit of Mount Everest. And in an interview after he had reached the summit, he was being interviewed for why he decided to take on this challenge. And he told his story of what he believes. And then he shared this quote, which is, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." And the reason why this is just so exciting to me is because it's 100% what I believe to be true about triathlons. Because it is not the triathlon we conquer, but ourselves is what I would kind of say as it relates to triathlons. Because by taking on these big challenges, by pushing yourself, by working out on the days when you don't feel like it, by getting up early, by overcoming the challenges that come through, the lack of motivation, the physical pain, the doubts, the uncertainty of can I do this? Can I not do this? You conquer yourself and you become a better version of yourself where you can go on and take on bigger challenges. So the other reason why this is really exciting for me is because it gets me pumped up for this Everesting event, which is an ultra endurance event that I'm signed up for October. So, in addition to the half Ironman that I'm doing in June that I'm focused on right now, in October, I'm going to be doing this event called Everesting. And then that is going to lead into my training for my first 50-mile ultra marathon in November. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about that Everesting event. And so this is kind of a newer event. It's called 29029 Everesting. And the 29029 comes from it's 29,029 feet that you need to hike to summit Mount Everest, which is, the tallest mountain and the tallest peak in the world. And so there's this question or there's this event where instead of you having to go to Mount Everest, which can cost, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, I think it's like $50,000 or more, and, incredibly dangerous where people actually die trying to attempt this. The question that they have on their landing page is, what if Everest came to you? And do you have what it takes to Everest? And I'm not a mountaineer. I've never really done any sort of climbing, but I have done some hiking. And I was immediately drawn to this and to this idea of, can I actually summit 29,029 feet? And the way that it works is this. So there's a couple of different events. There's ones in Utah, there's ones in Idaho, and there's ones in Vermont. And they rent out a private ski resort or mountain resort. And you have 36 hours to reach 29,029 feet, which is equivalent to hiking Mount Everest. So you hike up the mountain and then you take the gondola down. And depending on the different races, you either have to do 13 summits or you have to do 17 summits, but you only have 36 hours to complete it. Some people complete it in less than that time. Some people aren't able to complete it. And it's not really about the number of, it's not really about that goal because each person has an individual goal and it's really more of a community type of feel to it. But that's how the event works. And this, 29029, it's really more than just an event. It's really like a community. And it's more than just, that physical event, because what they do is they bring in different entrepreneurs, they bring in Olympians, they bring in personal development coaches and speakers. And in the 2 days before the event, there's lots of talks and kind of presentations and small groups and conversations that lead up to that event. And it's really just a community. And so I'm a part of a Facebook community because I'm signed up for this. And they do weekly Facebook Live calls where they're able to kind of help people answer questions and building that community prior to the event. And it's exactly the type of thing that I would like to create with Endurify, where it's not just about the event. It's all around getting a group of people, a community of people who believe in pushing themselves, who believe in taking on challenges and becoming the best versions of themselves along the way. So I'm also signed up for it from that perspective to learn, how do you create something like this? And so when I heard that quote, I shared that quote in the Facebook group. And I also, told a little bit about my story, and I asked people, who else is trying to conquer themselves, and what specifically are you trying to conquer? Because, a lot of times you need to actually look at what are you trying to conquer in order to be able to work your way through it. And so that is just kind of a little bit of the background around that quote, how it relates to you, because I believe that, it's not the mountain that we conquer but ourselves, or it's not the triathlon that we conquer but ourselves. And I want to ask you those same 2 questions that I asked this community of Everesting people. So what, or who else believes, or who else is trying to conquer themselves? If you're listening to this, I believe that you are. But what specifically are you trying to conquer? For me, it's a lot of that fear, and it's a lot of self-doubt of, with launching a podcast, with starting a business, with doing these challenges of, can I really do this? Am I capable of doing this? What if I fail? It's all of those things, all of those fears, all of those limiting beliefs that I'm trying to conquer. And the way that I try and conquer that is by actively taking action despite the fear or the self-doubt that I face. So that's what I want to ask you. I want to share that quote, and I want to ask you, what is it that you are trying to conquer? So that's what I have for today. I hope that serves you, and I hope you all have an amazing day.